Hello, and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast. I'm Catherine Haleko, and I'm here with Terry Morrow. Say hi, Terry.
Hello.
Usually on this podcast, we talk about parenting issues, but once a week, Terry and I like to get together to discuss TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics, because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change. So this week, we resume our West Wing watch by concluding Season 6, the episode 2,162 votes. But first, there were some votes in So You Think You Can Dance. So, Judges Auditions Week 4
were just fine.
It was entertaining, as usual. They're still doing kind of the, disease of the week. Because they had the person with autism, the person with alopecia, the guy from the wrong side of the tracks.
What a striking looking couple they are, man.
Yes. And that they were fun to watch.
They were, but they milked that all pretty good. The show did, not them.
For a long time.
Yes. And, again, lots of really good dancing, of which they were very fond. And then, like, a token no thrown in the middle of it.
Yeah, like one.
And it's like, there's all this great dancing, and then this guy comes out and salsas by himself. And it's like, I'm a person who could not do that, even. I can't do any kind of dance, so who am I to judge? But it seemed to my extremely untrained eye that he was clearly not as good as the others. So why was
How did he get there in the first place?
Well, why did they pick him to put on TV? And then they montage a bunch of much better dancers. Just to call the girl from the audience? It just seems like... I felt a little... I guess he gets on TV, so... Okay, but it just seemed kind of random. Like, okay, we got to have one person who's not very good. You! come over here.
You drew that straw. Yeah, it's like they're trying to sort of mix things up a little bit and, not just have, like, talk to them, dance, judge them, the end. Like, they're coming up with these other, like you said, storyline. You've talked about in the past, storylines.
Right.
We're going to have you on because you have something interesting, even though, you might not be qualified.
Yeah, but he didn't really even have a storyline, did he?
No, but then
he's just a dude who dances by himself. For him, it was the girl from the audience.
Bring someone out.
Yes. Yeah. I thought they were going to pull somebody who's like from a previous season who's an actual dancer, but no. It was apparently just some chick.
Luck.
So that just seemed kind of unfortunate. If he had a kid, I wouldn't understand, because it could be another look. You can be a parent. They abandoned that storyline apparently with this one. This one,
they've done enough of that. They've made their point.
We're moving on.
They will not be doing it anymore.
Although he does say to the couple who've been together for 7 months, "I can't wait to judge your children."
Audition your children. I know. Like, wow. Okay.
Okay. They seem like a nice couple. I hope. Good for them.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching them. I enjoyed watching most of them. It's just very much like Judges Audition 1, 2, and 3. Entertaining dancing. Not much heartbreak. And that's fun. Tap dancing. I was happy to see tap dancing. This is the first tapper they've had. Featured, right?
Right, yeah. And she was good.
I feel like I've seen a lot of robotics and a lot of contemporary. And a smattering of ballroom.
Right.
Yeah, she was very good.
They always have to have their one tap dancer. So, yeah, I liked her. And we did, from a different podcast, from To the Point with Kristen Burt, we learned that, in fact, these are not, random people off the street that have come in to dance. They have, this is really their second, at least, round of auditions.
Right. They had people actually going out to all the places like we used to see, or not, because we used to skip it. But, somebody has already done that initial work, and so are serving up these people who are, kind of the pick of the bunch to go through this. And also learned from that podcast that, in fact, the top 10 have already been picked. So it's like, all of this stuff is not live.
Right.
It's all done, and she can't wait for us to see who they are. And it's like, I would like to know who they are now. How much more of this wheels spinning do we get?
Right, and there's even going to be a week off next week.
Yes.
Where they're not just killing time.
Is anybody we've seen through all these weeks of auditions actually in the top 10, I wonder? They must be, right?
I would hope so. I mean, why else would they be?
Because quite a few of them have been told that they are the best thing that ever happened to dance. So how could they not be? Because I think there might have been more than 10 that have been told that.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right.
So it's a little awkward. So you're all the best thing, but you're slightly more best than the other best.
Yeah, this one is slightly bester.
It's going to be tough to pick. Mm-hmm. They've got a whole academy full of the bestest. And then some people who just, well, you're not the best, but we want to see what you can do. So, maybe they have explosive growth and then they become the best.
Yeah,
it's hard
how
to
does
say.
One do that? I'd like to know. Like, you're up against all the people who are already amazing and
yes,
the most, the best thing that's ever happened.
Right.
And you're like, well, you're pretty good. We'd like to see more. Well, what else are they going to do?
We're not sure you can do anything else, but what the heck? Here's a ticket.
Here's a ticket because
we printed up too many, so right. we got to unload them. You get a ticket, and you. I'm surprised they didn't give the girl from the audience a ticket.
Yeah. Or said, come back next year.
That's right. Dance with another random dude. Well, so there's next week is a week off, and then the week after that is the 5th week of auditions.
I don't get that.
And then it's the academy, right? How many weeks of whittling them down do we get before we finally get to the 10 that have already been chosen and are just sitting around at home? Can you imagine? I wonder this with all these reality shows, because like The Bachelorette is done and there's still episodes. So all these people have to, if you win or lose, whatever happens, you have to just go home and not tell anybody.
Yeah.
And that, how is that possible? How are there enough humans, of all the humans involved in these things?
And
all of
none
them.
of them has a slip of the tongue.
And I gotta say,
something.
you look at the people on some of these shows, and they don't look like the types who would abide by those sorts of rules. What do they do to these people to keep them silent? I cannot even imagine.
It's whatever they did to Ted Danson to keep him from, spilling the beans on the good place.
That's true.
They all said that he was terrible.
Yeah. So I guess there are ways. But anyway, how hard it would be to have made this tremendous leap forward in your passionate profession and then not be able to tell anybody.
Right.
Oh yeah, I went on. We'll let you know.
Can't say right
Instead
now.
of, how could you just not every day go, I made it! Just chilling.
Right. Right, because when they get to the actual competition, it is live. So
yes. And how long is it between?
Was this? Mm-hmm.
Would you lose some of your momentum? Shouldn't you just go right into it? I don't understand.
Right.
I suppose there's a reason. Maybe they're training and they're doing stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
They're in some facility far removed from
a top secret government.
But then all the
facility.
people who got rejected would have to also not say.
Yeah.
Probably not the hardest things they do based on what I see them doing on that stage. So,
right.
Not talking is a piece of cake in comparison.
Right. Okay, so the West Wing. This was the season finale for season 6. The big Democratic convention where they had to choose a nominee.
Yes.
Using
such
rock,
drama.
paper, scissors, and pulling names out of a hat, and lots of switcheroos and intrigue and double crossing. That was going on.
Yes. And a guy making a speech that inspires people to go his way.
That's right.
So were you shocked that Russell didn't get the nomination? I know you've been expecting that all along, right?
No, I was not shocked. I knew our Matt Santos would pull it out somehow. And in fact, he did.
You were like Helen Santos doing a little dance. See, I knew he would do it. That's my guy.
Yep, he sure did.
Who could possibly have expected that the character played by Jimmy Smits would go on to be the nominee?
They mentioned that too in the podcast, the West Wing Weekly podcast. They had a live show, and Lawrence O'Donnell, who was a writer on the show, was he credited with this episode? I don't think so. No, John Wells wrote the episode.
Yeah.
He had written a previous one, but he talked about when they were talking about the vice presidential nominee, which ends up being Leo McGarry. He talked about how, well, we had to because there were no other characters that you already knew that.
And I'm going, Ricky Rafferty, you set up Mel Harris as this person to be reckoned with, and then we never saw her again. Why wouldn't they get her?
But he also mentioned during that part, that you have to try to build suspense, but also, everyone knows that Jimmy Smits is the big catch, so obviously something's gonna happen.
He's taken on a multi-episode arc to be a loser.
Right. Probably not.
Not so much. So, with all due respect to Gary Cole, I mean, your name too, sir, but put you two up together, I gotta figure it's going to be Jimmy Smits.
Yeah, I gotta go with
Jimmy.
The
Leo thing, have they watched this show? Are they aware that Leo has a bit of a history that might, I don't know, be problematic for a vice presidential contender? Also, that the guy had a heart attack 5 minutes ago?
Right.
I don't understand. I would have liked to have seen the discussion that ended with that decision.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who just told you to drop out of the race and has really been telling you to drop out of the race for the last several episodes. And, by the way, he's got major health problems. But he also had a drug problem and alcoholism. And he's never been vetted for anything political. But he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love Leo, but come on.
Right.
Explain this choice to me, Josh.
No, we're not going to do that because all the big dramatic moments recently have been, well, not all of them, fine, but a lot of things have been behind closed doors.
Yes. And I'm thinking, mild spoiler alert, but, this is going to kill him, literally kill him. And then I realized, well, no, actually, it was the actor's death that literally killed him. Yeah. So can't really blame that on Josh, but it just seems like, I get that you want somebody with experience, but surely there must be somebody else. Uh-huh. Surely we've seen somebody else in these 6 years of this series that you could dust off and bring forward.
So many senators and representatives have strolled past over time.
I just, I don't understand. It's just a way to keep John Spencer in the front of the story. And again, I'm fine with that. I love him. I love Leo. And I'm happy to have any storyline that's gonna... but this just seems so ill-advised.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. Santos McGarry.
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Democratic contenders.
Right. We should talk some more about the episode itself.
Yes.
In addition to the...
That was the main plot.
Right. We also had, of course, the continuing saga of the space shuttle, the space station, not only the impending doom of the astronauts, but the
impending doom of whoever gave out the information.
Whoever leaked it, correct.
Yes.
So.
Yes, I can't talk too much about that plotline.
Right, because I do not know. And you
exactly, yes. And unlike the West Wing Weekly podcast, which spoiled it in great detail, fortunately they did give a warning, which is helpful to podcast listeners because I could tell Catherine where to turn it off. Not helpful to the people who were actually in the room for the live podcast recording who just had to, oh well.
Right.
Let's put the discussion of that plot line off for a little while, except to say that thankfully, somebody gave Kate a comb out or something because the curls were less offensive this time.
Yes, I agree.
So, so it's just they were just weighed down by the, gravitas of this situation. It just relaxed the curls in her hair. It's so gloom and doom.
Yes.
Welp, that was a season of The West Wing.
Yeah, wow.
Not a good season of The West Wing, but a season of The West Wing.
Well, not a good one, but we did get Jimmy Smits and Alan Alda out of the deal.
That's true. That's true. And you will get, that's what next season is going to be.
Right.
I think they talk about on the podcast that John Wells called in Joshua Malina and he thought he was going to get let go. And instead they say, we found this storyline for you. So, you're going to have this many episodes. And he's like, well, that was better than 0. So sure.
So I'll take it.
I happened to be looking on Wikipedia and looking at the number of for season 7, they did break down how many episodes people had. And you can see from that it's going to be a much more campaign-focused season than a White House-focused season.
Right.
So, wave hello to your White House people whenever you see them, because it might be a while before you see them again.
Well, on the podcast, you got plenty of, I don't want to say hot air, but you got plenty of detail from the mind of Lawrence O'Donnell.
You did indeed, didn't you? The man likes to talk, and he's pretty proud of his expertise, which why not? He's successful at what he's doing, and so you go, guy.
Right. There was a lot more of him than there was of Kate Harper, who was also
Mary
present.
McCormick barely spoke. She did speak some in the part that was redacted for spoilers.
Okay.
But still not that much. Interestingly, but not much.
Yeah. The parts that weren't redacted, she was spending a lot of time confirming how obnoxious Joshua Malina is as a coworker.
That is right. Yes. Yeah. I think he's pretty much admitted to that. So that's cool.
He's, I think, proud of it. Much like Lawrence O'Donnell.
Yes. Well, good for them. Healthy self-esteem.
Right.
So, is there anything else about this particular episode that we need to talk about?
I don't think so. I mean, I did enjoy the whole, drama of it all, of who's going to be the nominee, and of, Al Bundy trying to spoil things.
That was great. I had forgotten about that, and that was a real whoa.
Right.
Way to go, man.
And as they pointed out on the podcast, Bob Russell had his number. I mean, he knew that he was going to do that, which was pretty savvy of him.
Yes, because he is also possible to be, has the potential to be squirrely. So I guess he recognizes a
right.
Similar political instincts.
What is it? Recognizes or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Right.
And Hoynes once again, passes up on the chance to be a decent dude. Because he's Hoynes.
Yeah.
They could have asked him to be the vice president again. He has experience.
I'm pretty sure he would not want to do that. So next week, we are going to do a very special episode of the podcast of the round 2. Because there is no new So You Think You Can Dance, and we also think there's not going to be a new episode of the West Wing Weekly, or at least one that discusses the first episode of season 7. Right. So we are going to skip West Wing as well as So You Think You Can Dance, since it'll be not a new show. And instead, we're going to have a guest star. Nicole Eredics is going to join us and talk about season 2 of Big Little Lies. If you remember back when the first season of Big Little Lies came out, we did something similar where Nicole and I talked about it.
Yes. And I just asked sarcastic questions because I haven't watched it.
Right. And because at that time I had read the book, but not watched the show.
Okay.
This time around, I am going to try to watch the episodes that are out, which are the first 3, I believe.
Okay.
We're going to try to cover.
Yes, and Nicole watches it also, and I will be commenting based on Alan Sepinwall's recaps, which I read, rather than actually watching it.
Right, which is probably...
Yeah, he's pretty thorough.
He's pretty good.
It'll be fun.
So we'll do that next week. And then that'll be it for our round 2 today. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes.
Yes.
We have a new podcast for you every weekday, and tweets, man, we got plenty of those. So there's no
More
shortage.
tweets than you know what to do with.
No shortage of tweets at Roundabout Chat, and recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment at parentingroundabout.com. Bye, Terry.
Bye, Catherine.
Bye, everyone.